Yeah, no, I think, yeah, there's no question. I think that we'll be able to look back at this thing and say, hey, maybe we should have taken a different approach. But at that point, defensively, we were really humming. Right? I think we held them like 85 yards in the first half. I'm not exactly sure what the numbers were, but they were struggling to move it, right? Obviously, the environment was a factor. They've got a young quarterback out there as well. So, and look, Max, you know, I think he did his part. You know, I mean, there's a handful of plays that he'd like to have back, and I can certainly do more to help the players. I think when we look back at it, you know, there's going to be, whether it's a sack in the red area or a holding penalty right before the half, you know, that contributes to the outcome, right? I think so. Florida State's got a really good defensive team, and they made their plays, but we also contributed at times. There are things that we can do better.
Away from you guys a little bit with discipline and things like that. What do you kind of
discipline? What specifically?
Well, I mean, 50 yards of penalties. And
yeah. No, I agree.
But what do you kind of point to with that?
Yeah, I think it's a team that has, you know, I think that tonight it was a handful of decisions or a handful of execution opportunities, missed plays. It's been a little bit different each week. You know, I think a number of things contribute. But, you know, the penalties, obviously, those are things that we need to address. You know, there's no excuse for those. I think some of those were technical and some of those were decision-making. So yeah, you know, I think a lot of things contribute to the result. But we've been in the fourth quarter with some really good football teams here the last couple of weeks. We've got to learn how to finish those games. I mean, there's no question about it. We have to coach better and play better.
Well, you say evaluating every aspect, and I mean that's a very involved process. But like, where do you start with something like that?
Well, we have a. You know, we have a pretty exhaustive process that we go through each year, you know, whether we're undefeated and win championships, you know, or, you know, we're sitting here where we're at as a program, right? So we're going to go through our process, right? And there'll be some things that come from that, right? And I think ultimately we do it each year, independent of the result or the outcome. And we're obviously trying to improve our systems and do what we think is in the best interest of the players. You know, ultimately that's our job. So that's what we're going to do.